It's great to see you, George. You're looking calm and relaxed.
Good to see you too.
So, tell me a little bit about what's on your mind now.
A little nervous, but I have some questions to ask you. So, I know that my family supports the advancement and progress of pediatric brain cancer research and trials because of what happened to me. Why is it so important to you?
Yeah, so that's a great question. As some of you may know, the most common cancers and tumors actually are blood cancers in children, leukemia and lymphoma. And it's only in the last couple of years and those used to be the ones that caused the most problem and affected the most kids in terms of survival. But in the last year or two, the disease actually that causes the most deaths in kids is now pediatric brain cancer, pediatric brain tumors. So it's an important thing that we have to work on because it has an enormous impact on kids who have it.
So do you think progress is possible?
Yeah, absolutely. So the reason why pediatric brain tumors are a problem now, or number one problem, it's not because that they're more common. It's because we've actually made enormous progress in pediatric leukemia and lymphoma. A couple of generations ago, 90% of those kids had poor outcomes. These days, 90% actually do very well with those diagnoses. So that has happened through a lot of hard work by our colleagues over the last 20 or 30 years.
So now, how do you think we can make this progress happen?
I think pediatric brain tumors are a harder problem. I think that the brain's a difficult place, obviously, to have anything happen, but there is a path forward. That path forward is two things. Number one is getting people to work on it, funding research, as PNOC has been doing. And I think it's only through that kind of effort that we can and will make progress. The other thing is actually advocacy. About 1% of medical research money at the federal government level goes to pediatric brain tumors and pediatric brain problems, and that should be increased because it does have a huge impact on patients and families. I think both of those areas are areas where the families and their friends and advocates can make a huge, huge impact moving forward.
Okay, interesting. So, on another note, what do you do to prepare for a surgery? I know that my surgery lasted around 10 hours, so what do you do to prepare for something that long?
I stayed up all night long. No, just kidding. I think the important thing is you want to make it a routine, as routine as possible. So and I have a routine before I do something like that. I like to clear my mind. I like to not be thinking of other things, and I spend some time both the night before, the morning of, focusing on that problem. Some cases are more difficult than others. I think once you're focusing on the problem and you're in your groove, then it doesn't really matter how long it is. I think that it's something also that you get used to. But there's a lot of other areas in sports and in other places where people, when they focus on something, they can really accomplish a great deal. And I'm fortunate to be in that position as well.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So I want to share a statistic. Each child who passes from pediatric brain cancer loses an average of 7 years of life. That adds up to more than 47,000 years of life lost across America each year. I want these kids and their families to be able to enjoy important milestones like birthdays, family trips, graduations, and holidays. So I guess that's why we're all here. And I want to thank everyone for being here, and I want to thank you, Dr. Gupta, for your time and for what you do.
Yeah. Thanks, George. Also, I wanted to tell you one thing, which was that part of what makes me do what I do is seeing you, and kids like you years later up here on stage, making sense, and really that gives me a great deal of satisfaction knowing that I've had that impact.